1. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what lies in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. From On the Shortness of Life. 2. For those who follow nature, everything is easy and straightforward, whereas for those who fight against her life is just like rowing against the stream. From Letters from a Stoic 3. Floods will rob us of one thing, fire of another. These are conditions of our existence which we cannot change. What we can do is adopt a noble spirit, such a spirit that befits a good person, so that we may bear up bravely under all that fortune sends us and bring our wills into tune with nature's. From Letters from a Stoic. 4. No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have, and to cheerfully put to good use what they do have. From Moral Letters. 5. Let us meet with bravery, whatever may befall us. Let us never feel a shudder at the thought of being wounded or of being made a prisoner, or of poverty or persecution. From Letters from a Stoic. 6. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. From Letters from a Stoic. 7. We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control? From Enquiry. 8. But for me, every omen is favorable, for I want it to be so. For whatever may come about, it is within my power to derive benefit from it. From Enquiry. 9. Curb your desire. Don't set your heart on so many things and you will get what you need. From the Discourses. 10. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. From Enquiry. 11. It's something like going on an ocean voyage. What can I do? Pick the captain, the boat, the date, and the best time to sail. But then a storm hits. What are my options? I do the only thing I am in a position to do, drown, but fearlessly, without bawling or crying out to God, because I know that what is born must also die. From the Discourses. 12. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. From the Discourses. 13. Just keep in mind, the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. From the Discourses. 14. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Where then do I look for good and evil? Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself to the choices that are my own. From the Discourses. 15. In each action that you undertake, consider what comes before and what follows after, and only then proceed to the action itself. From the Discourses. 16. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. From Meditations. 17. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it, and it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. From Meditations. 18. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. From Meditations. 19. Today I escaped anxiety. Or no, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. From Meditations. 20. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. From Meditations. 21. It's time you realize that you have something in you more powerful and miraculous than the things that affect you and make you dance like a puppet. From Meditations. 22. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do. Only what you do. Not to be distracted by their darkness. To run straight for the finish line, unswerving. From Meditations. 23. Whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. The twining strands of fate wove both of them together. From Meditations 24, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. From Meditations 25, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. From Meditations, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. One that desires to excel should endeavor in those things that are in themselves most excellent. Epictetus. There is only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that's your own self. Aldous Huxley. Those who seek a better life must first become a better person. Jim Rohn. Make the most of yourself, for that is all there is of you. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Give thyself time to learn something new and good, and cease to be whirled around. Marcus Aurelius. Every habit and capability is confirmed and grows in its corresponding actions, walking by walking and running by running. Therefore, if you want to do something, make a habit of it. If you don't want to do that, don't, but make a habit of something else instead. The same principle is at work in our state of mind. When you get angry, you've not only experienced that evil, but you've also reinforced a bad habit, adding fuel to the fire. Epictetus. Adopt new habits. Consolidate your principles by putting them into practice. Epictetus. Assemble your life, action by action, and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal. No one can keep that from happening, action by action. Marcus Aurelius. Excellence withers without an adversary. Seneca. But what does Socrates say? Just as one person delights in improving his farm and another his horse, so I delight in attending to my own improvement day by day. Epictetus. If your soul be habitually in practice, you will plead and teach, listen and learn, investigate and meditate. What more is necessary? Seneca. In the majority of other things, we address circumstances not in accordance with the right assumptions, but mostly by following wretched habit. Since all that I've said is the case, the person in training must seek to rise above, so as to stop seeking out pleasure and steering away from pain. Musonius Rufus. If you want to do something, make a habit of it. If you don't want to do that, don't, but make a habit of something else instead. Epictetus. Don't go expecting Plato's Republic. Be satisfied with even the smallest progress. Marcus Aurelius. Progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. Epictetus. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habit. Laozi. Feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. Dale Carnegie. A habit cannot be tossed out the window. It must be coaxed down the stairs a step at a time. Mark Twain. Day has already begun to lessen. It has shrunk considerably, but yet will still allow a goodly space of time if one rises, so to speak, with the day itself. We are more industrious, and we are better men if we anticipate the day and welcome the dawn. Seneca. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, as a human being, I have to go to work. Why am I complaining if I'm going to do what I was born to do, the things I was brought into the world to do? Is this really what I was created for? To snuggle under the blankets and stay warm? But you say it's nicer here. I see, so you were born to feel nice, is that it? Not to do things and experience them? Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees, all going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? And you mean you're not willing to do your part as a human being? Why aren't you jumping up to do what your nature demands? Marcus Aurelius. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. J.R.R. Tolkien. We must not allow the clock and the calendar to blind us to the fact that each moment of life is a miracle and mystery. H.G. Wells. If you accomplish something good with hard work, the labor passes quickly, but the good endures. If you do something shameful in pursuit of pleasure, the pleasure passes quickly, but the shame endures. Musonius Rufus. The strongest principle of growth lies in the human choice. George Eliot. Don't bother just to be better than others. Try to be better than yourself. William Faulkner. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. Abraham Lincoln. I will keep constant watch over myself and, most usefully, will put each day up for review. For this is what makes us evil, that none of us looks back upon our own lives. We reflect upon only that which we are about to do, and yet our plans for the future descend from the past. Seneca. We should every night call ourselves to an account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? Our vices will abate of themselves if they be brought every day to the shrift. Seneca. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Carl Jung. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. When another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. Marcus Aurelius. If anyone should tell you that a particular person has spoken critically of you, don't bother with excuses or defenses. Just smile and reply, I guess that person doesn't know about all my other faults. Otherwise he wouldn't have mentioned only these. Epictetus. Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Self-indulgence means tying it to the things that happen to you. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. Marcus Aurelius. Be not diverted from your duty by any idle reflections the silly world may make upon you, for their censures are not in your power, and should not be at all your concerns. Epictetus. We can't control the impressions others form about us, and the effort to do so only debases our character. Epictetus. As for others whose lives are not so ordered, he reminds himself constantly of the characters they exhibit daily and nightly at home and abroad, and of the sort of society they frequent, and the approval of such men, who do not even stand well in their own eyes, has no value for him. Marcus Aurelius. Be careful whom you associate with. It is human to imitate the habits of those with whom we interact. We inadvertently adopt their interests, their opinions, their values, and their habit of interpreting events. Epictetus. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Seneca. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. Benjamin Franklin. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Steve Jobs. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt. The opinion which other people have of you is their problem, not yours. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Stoicism has grown in popularity in recent years, and one of the reasons for this is because of the life-changing notion that you should focus your energy on those things that you can control. According to Epictetus, the things you can control primarily consist of your thoughts, beliefs, opinions, actions, and reactions. Considering this, if you want to live a good life, you'll want to turn your focus towards yourself, rather than all of the external events that lie outside your span of control. Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. You are your choices. Seneca. We all carry the seeds of greatness within us, but we need an image as a point of focus in order that they may sprout. Epictetus, focus not on what he or she does, but on keeping to your higher purpose. Your own purpose should seek harmony with nature itself, for this is the true road to freedom. Epictetus, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius, one whose chief regard is for his own mind, and for the divinity within him and the service of its goodness, will strike no poses, utter no complaints, and crave neither for solitude nor yet for a crowd. Best of all, his life will be free from continual pursuing and avoiding. Marcus Aurelius. Self-sufficiency is the greatest of all wealth. Epicurus. To improve is to change, so to be perfect is to have changed often. Winston Churchill. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. Buddha. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I cannot always control what goes on outside, but I can always control what goes on inside. Wayne Dyer. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Does what's happened keep you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, straightforwardness, and all other qualities that allow a person's nature to fulfill itself? So remember this principle when something threatens to cause you pain. The thing itself was no misfortune at all. To endure it and prevail is great good fortune. Marcus Aurelius. When force of circumstance upsets your equanimity, lose no time in recovering your self-control, and do not remain out of tune longer than you can help. Habitual recurrence to the harmony will increase your mastery of it. Marcus Aurelius. Which is recorded of Socrates that he was able both to abstain from and to enjoy those things which many are too weak to abstain from, and cannot enjoy without excess. But to be strong enough both to bear the one and to be sober in the other, is the mark of a man who has a perfect and invincible soul. Marcus Aurelius. If we were to measure what is good by how much pleasure it brings, nothing would be better than self-control. If we were to measure what is to be avoided by its pain, nothing would be more painful than lack of self-control. Musonius Rufus. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. Aristotle. Not being able to govern events, I govern myself. Michel de Montaigne. If you do not conquer self, you will be conquered by self. Napoleon Hill. He who reigns within himself and rules passions, desires, and fears is more than a king. John Milton Stoic. Quotes on living a full life. Do you want to live a full, happy life? If so, you have to grab it by the horns and choose to do so. Otherwise, you can end up on your deathbed realizing that you spent most of your time scrolling through social media or working a job you hate. We must take care to live not merely a long life, but a full one. For living a long life requires only good fortune, but living a full life requires character. Long is the life that is fully lived. It is fulfilled only when the mind supplies its own good qualities and empowers itself from within. Seneca. What we do now echoes in eternity. Marcus Aurelius. Remember this, that there is a proper dignity and proportion to be observed in the performance of every act of life. Marcus Aurelius. Life is too deep for words, so don't try to describe it, just live it. C.S. Lewis. One of the greatest joys of working on yourself is that, over time, your respect for yourself will grow. As some of the wise humans quoted below mention, you will only gain the respect of others when you have respect for yourself. Think nothing profitable to you which compels you to break a promise, to lose your self-respect, to hate any person, to curse, to act the hypocrite. Marcus Aurelius. Find joy in simplicity, self-respect, and indifference to what lies between virtue and vice. Love the human race. Follow the divine. Marcus Aurelius. You will earn the respect of all if you begin by earning the respect of yourself. Don't expect to encourage good deeds in people conscious of your own misdeeds. Musonius Rufus. Trust yourself. Create the kind of self that you will be happy to live with all your life. Golda Meir. Circumstance does not make the man. Circumstance reveals man to himself. Ralph Waldo Emerson. We can never obtain peace in the outer world until we make peace with ourselves. Dalai Lama. Respect yourself and others will respect you. Confucius.